Our top story, winter is upon us, and that means the pollution season is nearing in the national capital. So today, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal announced a 15-point battle plan to combat the city's toxic air. This includes spraying biodecomposers on 5,000 acres of stubble this year, 233 anti-smog guns and 150 mobile anti-smog guns will also be deployed in the NCR. The Chief Minister is saying that a green room has been established comprising 9 scientific experts to monitor the situation. Selling and buying of firecrackers have been banned in the national capital. Mr. Kejriwal is urging people to cooperate with the government in order to tackle pollution during the winter.
जब तक हम सारे मिलके कदम नहीं उठाएंगे, कंधे से कंधा मिला के लड़ाई नहीं लड़ेंगे, तब तक सफल नहीं होंगे। तो हमारा प्रयास रहेगा, हम भारत सरकार के साथ मिलके, CAQM के साथ मिलके, NCR के सभी राज्यों के साथ मिलके प्रदूषण को कम करने की कोशिश करेंगे। मेरी सभी पड़ोसी राज्यों से निवेदन है कि जितने व्हीकल दिल्ली में आते हैं वहाँ से कोशिश करें वो ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा या तो CNG हों या इलेक्ट्रिक हों।
Let me go straight across to our guests who are joining us this evening. Is this plan good enough? It's well-intentioned. We can see that. There is an attempt being made by the government, by Arvind Kejriwal. But can this plan work is the big question that I'm going to ask all our guests who are joining us this evening. We have Ravi Srivastava, who's a political analyst, joining us on the broadcast. Will he be speaking on behalf of the Aam Aadmi Party today? Possibly, yes. As I said, we always send invites to the Aam Aadmi Party. For some reason, they decide not to come for our shows. We have Vimlendu Jha, who's an environmentalist. We have Shreya Gupta. He's a member of Right to Breathe. He's joining us from Gurgaon. And Harish Khuranna, spokesperson of the BJP, with us on the broadcast as well. I know you're smiling, Ravi Srivastava, but my first question is to Vimlendu Jha for obvious reasons. He's an environmentalist. He's seen the 15 pointers. It's a battle plan. It's looking like a battle plan to me, Vimlendu Jha. It's looking like it's well-intentioned. Question is, can it work? Because we have these battle plans ready before every winter. And every winter, all of us are doing khao or trying to, exit the city.
So, Shreya, if you look at this year's 15-point agenda, 15-point plan that they've made, is very similar to what we actually have seen in the last several years. There's nothing different. They're talking about don't burn waste. They're talking about green cover. They talk about electric vehicle policy. The problem is that it's not just the plan, it's the action, it's the implementation. And that's where the gap is. Right now, if you look at the recent report that came that talked about how every hour there are 3 trees that's actually been chopped in Delhi NCR. We've seen how year after year it's stubble burning conversation that actually takes over the entire air pollution conversation. And imagine right now, September 19th, the AQI in Anand Vihar was almost 450, 460, which is like severe. While the firecrackers haven't begun, stubble burning hasn't started. So therefore, unless and until we really have a pan-year plan, an annual plan, a 365-day plan, just waking up on the eve of pollution, when on just last week when the air quality index became really, really bad, you come up with these great thing, green war room for what? As in, at the end of the day, we don't need a green war room. We want the government to execute those combat air pollution plan for 365 days rather than just waking up on October 1st or September 30th and saying, well, our intentions are good. I don't think there's anything different in this plan. We haven't seen government on the front foot at all. We still don't know whether stubble burning will happen or not happen this year. The fact that Delhi and Punjab both have Aam Aadmi Party governments, there's no conversation that central government is actually having with even the respective states or for that matter Delhi's government. So really, one can get excited about the fact that yes, we have yet another circular. If you just change the date, the circular is the same. The same circular was circulated in 2018, in 2019, in 2020, and now in 2022 as well. I don't see much of a difference. I think there's a lack of political will. It's a smog wash of sorts that we are actually seeing once again.
You're calling it a smog wash. That's a good one, as it were. But I'm waiting to see as well what Punjab does, because every year the Delhi government, Arvind Kejriwal, blames Parali or stubble burning in Punjab as the main contributor to Delhi's pollution. This year, the Delhi government is saying they will be spraying Pusa decomposers on stubble on around 5,000 acres. And most of it, of course, will be in the area of Punjab. Vimlendu, that could work. I mean, I don't know, but that could work.
First of all, stubble burning is an episodic source of pollution. We have to look at the perennial sources of pollution, which is basically largely we talk about dust, we talk about transport, we talk about open burning of waste. Indeed, stubble burning is a problem, but stubble burning causes the problem only for 30 to 40 days. As I told you just now, Delhi got its first good air day on September 16th. First good air day. And September 19th, the air quality index in Anand Vihar was 430. When stubble burning hasn't even started. So therefore, if you keep focusing your energy only on stubble, then you'll miss the point, you'll miss the bus. And that's what we've been missing each time. The narrative of the government, both at the center and at the state, is to really find easy target in farmers. And right now, can biodecomposer be the only solution to response to stubble burning? No. The idea is to really look at crop rotation, looking at what do we actually grow. And there's no conversation that has been had. I'm very sure, this year again, farmers who don't have a choice, they're going through an inflation phase. It has rained. There's a lot of distress in agriculture. They might perhaps burn the stubble once again. And if they don't burn the stubble, still does it mean that Delhi's air is going to be good? Not really.
No. Yeah. So every year what is happening is that you have the battle on pollution get reduced to a political tutu meme. That happens every year. Looking a little difficult this year, given that the Aam Aadmi Party is now in charge of Punjab. But Vimlendu was right here, Ravi Srivastava. Parali is not the only reason for pollution in the national capital. Yes, there is a plan, but this plan looks exactly like the plan last year and the one that we had last year and the one we had last year as well. So you can tell us your intentions are good, but on the ground in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years, the intentions haven't really translated into, good results on the ground or cleaner air in the city.
Shreya, first of all, doing something, making an effort is more important than not doing anything. I think that should be the bottom line. My friend was looking very pessimistic as far as the efforts are concerned. And you also talked about some 15 points which will be implemented this year, which Kejriwal has listed that he will be putting into effect. The first thing is, he talked about 10 more things which has already done, the kind of efforts which is already made. He has got the thermal power stations closed. He has seen that the most vehicles get turned to the PNG and CNG and to the electric vehicles. He has seen that the tree cover, the green cover, goes up by 3.6 from 20 lakh to 23.6, which is a huge achievement. I would like to see any other metro in the whole country which has increased its tree cover, but he has done it. So the point here is that he is making efforts. And this year also, he is making further efforts by following the Supreme Court guidelines also, that grab and that firecrackers. Even some of the BJP friends go to the extent of deliberately burning the firecrackers just to see to it that the step gets flopped. They go to that extent even. So I would like to ask that he has asked again the cooperation of the 2 crore population of Delhi. It is not. I agree with Vimlendu that the Parali burning is not the only thing. But the issue here is, at this moment, the Punjab is also with the AAP. Delhi is already with the AAP. So the only sandwich state is Haryana in between. So it can be identified that what Parali is being burnt over there. Again, he has asked for cooperation from everybody. The neighboring states. If the vehicles coming from UP pollute Delhi, or for that matter, the Parali burned in the other states affect the air in Delhi, then he has asked for it that please help us. He is not arrogant for that matter. As far as vehicles are concerned, he has already said he has appreciated center that they have made 2 bypass ways where the heavy trucks need not enter into the city.
Okay. Vehicles contribute to 50% of Delhi's pollution. And that is the big challenge, really. Will we see a return of odd even this winter once again is a question we will have answered only once we are in the middle of the smog season, as it were. Let me get in Mr. Khuranna in. Harish Khuranna is spokesperson of the BJP. Harish ji, namaskar. Thank you very much for being here on the broadcast with us. Now, Vimlendu is telling us that, look, if you look at the 15-point, if you look at the battle plan that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has presented to the world, it's looking pretty similar to what we saw last year and last year. Mr. Ravi Srivastava is saying, look, at least he's well-intentioned. At least he's showing the will to do something. Can I ask you, Mr. Khuranna, what has been the will of the BJP to do anything about the pollution in Delhi? Now, firecrackers don't contribute heavily to the pollution of Delhi, but on the days of Diwali, we know that on the day after Diwali, pollution levels spike. We know this, it happens every year. So why is your honorable MP going to the Supreme Court to say, please allow firecrackers? I'm talking about Manoj Tiwari.
Shreya, I'll answer in two parts. Point number one, yes, Vimlendu is right. The same old script has been played every year. 15-point agenda, my winter agenda, and all those stuff. Every year it happens. But the matter of the fact is, still Delhi don't know what the actual problem comes from. This is not my report. This is a Vidhan Sabha answer which has been given by the government himself, where they say vehicle emissions is 20%, 25% is small particles, 17% is patiyan jalana. Hindi mein likha hua hai. 17% is patiyan jalana, and fly ash is 12%. Construction is 3%, and roads ke upar jo dhool udti hai, that is 14%. This is not my answer. This is Vidhan Sabha answer reply by the government himself. People, they still don't know what the actual problem comes from. Major source of pollution comes from vehicle emissions. What have they done? Since last 7 years, how many DTC buses have been added? I don't think so, no more than 100 buses, which is recently added in the fleet of DTC, which is electric buses, which was promised since last 7 years. So our public transport is haywire. So people are using their own public mode of transport of maybe cars or maybe two-wheelers. Point number one. Point number two, since last year, they used to say Parali is one of the biggest cause, if you remember. But the actual fact was, and that's my own RTI, they made a capsule of composite capsule. Well, you know what the actual fact was? 40,000 was rupees the cost of the actual capsule. 22 lakh rupees was spent on renting of tractors and tentage, and 17 crore rupees was spent on advertisement. So this is an actual fact.
Okay.
And recently, one more, 2 seconds. Recently, till last year, they used to say Parali is one of the cause. I was going through a newspaper, and I'm showing it to your viewers what their Dhaliwal has said, Punjab Minister said, this year hum to Parali jalayenge. This is the one. Since last year they used to say Parali is the biggest cause. Now if their government in Punjab, they are saying Parali jalane ka kisan pe koi karwai nahi hogi. This is not my report. This is a media report which has come in. And Dhaliwal is the Agriculture Minister. So what they say and what they actually do is totally different.
Okay. And you have responded to everything, but you have not responded to the question I've asked you. You are saying कि आम आदमी party is number one as far as advertising is concerned. काम कम करते हैं, advertising ज़्यादा करते हैं. This is what you are saying. Now, I want to ask you why your honorable member of parliament from the city of Delhi is going to the Supreme Court and saying, please allow firecrackers during this Diwali. Because not having firecrackers is anti-Hindu.
I will answer that. Shreya, do you have a report with you guys? Any of your people, your environmentalist also on the panel, how much contribution of these firecrackers comes?
No, you're right.
Delhi?
You're right. You're right. It is not substantial. Okay, Vimlendu wants to come in, but Vimlendu, the point I will make is that to some extent he's right. Firecrackers are not the major contributor of pollution in Delhi. Yes.
The overall annual average, Shreya, yes, of firecrackers could be less.
Yes.
But if you look at WHO report, the air quality index overall, if gets 12 times worse, we don't need any research and study. We know the fact that hospitals. Wait, Mr. Khuranna. We all know the fact that in the next morning of Diwali, we have all the hospitals of Delhi run out of ICU beds. Wait 1 second,
Yeah,
sir.
for one day, but why? Are Mr. Khurana, why make it worse? पहले ही हालत खराब है. You are saying चलो एक दिन पटाखा जला देते हैं, थोड़ा ही सा तो होगा.
My point is something else. Shreya, my point is something else. My point is whatever the percentage is, 4%, 5%, 10%, whatever the percentage will be. 90% has been not been catered. Well, my point is, 90% or 80%, 90% not been catered. You are only blaming
one drop of ammonia mixed in.
It's not been catered.
Okay.
My point is this.
Okay. ठीक है. हाँ, Vimlendu, go ahead.
I'm just saying, Mr. Khuranna, that one drop of poison mixed in 10,000 liters of water might not kill you. But if one drop of poison kept, in 2 drops of water that is there is absolute poison. So when we talk about, firecrackers concentrated on those 2-3 days, it's a killer. I'm of the opinion that you have scientific acumen. We all know that firecrackers not good. And when Delhi is already in ICU, when our air quality is in the worst phase, we need to do everything possible and more to really do something about it. Where is faith coming in all of this? My child who will actually be coughing this week, I cannot say that in the name of Ram, please burn firecrackers. It is stupid. And I think our government and our government representatives, our political class needs to understand that when it comes to issues of public health, faith doesn't have a role. And if at all faith has to have a role, it needs to have constructive role. Let go of your old practices. You don't go and take a dip in Yamuna anymore because Yamuna is black. And therefore, let's stop firecrackers completely.
Jadhar Gupta, would you want to come in here? You've heard the environmentalist, you've heard the politician, you've heard the spokesperson. The fact is that even as television channels, we also, I think, tend to focus on things that are more controversial because then it lends itself obviously to a debate. For example, firecrackers, because it invariably becomes BJP versus the rest. For example, Parali burning, again, it becomes one party against the other. The fact is, and Vimlendu was right, when he started with his comment to say that the battle action plan that Mr. Kejriwal has just announced is only for this season, while Delhi sees pollution through the year, and therefore the response to pollution and the idea to fix it should be through the year. For example, what have we done about vehicular pollution? I mean, whatever we have done, it's certainly not working. Although Mr. Kejriwal, just by the way, Jadhar Gupta, today in his press conference has also said that pollution is at a 4-year low in the city of Delhi.
Okay, Shreya, let me step in. The first thing I want to ask everybody is that what is the reason that the leadership of our country keeps minimizing the emergency of air pollution? Let me put things in perspective. In 2020, COVID took about 5 lakh lives in India, and air pollution consumed 17 lakh lives. Okay. For COVID, we shut the country down. We called it the emergency that it was, and we locked down the whole country. But for air pollution, we keep running this year after year because it's just a regional India problem. At least the bulk of the problem is a regional India problem from Amritsar to Kolkata, right? Because it doesn't involve the rest of the world, we are playing dirty politics with this very, very big health issue. It's consuming all of us. I'm in Delhi today. Today was an absolutely hazardous air quality day. And I can tell you, I mean, I'm wheezing. I'm wheezing right now. I'm on my puffer again. I know that after the rain that comes next week in Delhi, I'm going to be on a nebulizer. I just know it. So Shreya, the first thing I want to do is I want to issue a health advisory for anybody living between Amritsar and Kolkata. I want to tell you guys, you have 10 days. You have 10 days to find whatever way to cover yourself, or you have 10 days to get out of this region. I don't think the leadership of this country is capable. If I was part of the leadership of this country, I would actually, I don't think any government can solve this problem. If I go ahead and I'm burning a Geethis or I'm lighting a tandoor, there's no Kejriwal or Mr. Modi who can stop air pollution. I think you need to engage citizens. You need to tell, I need somebody from the health ministry to step up and actually talk about how bad this air pollution is. how it's more harmful for your health than COVID. We made such a big hawa out of COVID. This is like 10x the problem of COVID. And this impacts our children. COVID didn't even impact children. It's taking away lives year after year. COVID is like done and dusted practically. But we are still not calling air pollution the emergency that it is. And that just baffles me. Year after year, we're having these silly discussions and panel discussions and kicking the ball around. Nobody actually wants to play the lead on this. And there's nobody from Health Ministry or Environment Ministry who's jumping in. Anything sensible that's ever come out on air pollution has come out of NGT or Supreme Court. Where's the leadership?
Where is the leadership? And I think it's our, it's a problem. It's our problem as well as citizens. Are we demanding cleaner air? Yeah, when the winter comes in for those 15, 20, 30 days, the air is bad. Everyone is falling ill. There are panel discussions on television, etc., etc. There's a big drama created. And what happens after a month? Everyone forgets. Everyone moves on. That is part of the problem as well. Are citizens seeking accountability from their leadership?
This is not.
Are citizens seeking?
This is not a 30-day problem.
But are citizens seeking accountability from their governments? Are they saying, "Hawa theek karo, pani theek karo, pollution kam karo, nahi to vote nahi denge"? No. Vimlendu, is pollution, air pollution or water pollution ever a election mudda? No. Election mudda is always Hindu-Muslim. In fact, even for pollution, we make it Hindu-Muslim.
Absolutely. And, unfortunately, it's not the agenda. But, in any classic good governance system, we should ideally look at mortality and morbidity as the first thing that the government should address. In the case of air pollution, as Jay rightly said, that 1.5 million people die. Government doesn't even acknowledge that report. This is Lancet report. These are global reports that constantly keep telling you that people are dying. Of course, that death certificate doesn't say that died because of air pollution. Government keeps talking about this as comorbidity-led death rather than air pollution-led death. And ideally, we would think that a responsive and a responsible government would take cognizance of the fact that air pollution is a huge problem. Air pollution is killing people. Air pollution is reducing life expectancy. Air pollution is actually causing more morbidity, and that should be first on their agenda. Look at what is happening. The Prime Minister of the country is actually touring on political tour. The Chief Minister of Delhi is in the election mode. Everyone is in the election mode, while not a single word came anywhere, be it in the media or elsewhere, that air quality index just 10 days ago was 400. Cities shut down. Stanford was shut down when the air quality index reaches 250. We have normalized pollution. We have stopped respecting. We have almost started believing that aisa hi hai ji. Pani to aisa hi hoga. Yamuna froth hoega hi. And then you'll have the political class talk about green room and blue room and smog towers and tree cover. If the report says that in Kejriwal's government transplantation policy, 30% of the trees have actually have died.
Correct.
So then what are you talking about? Greening 18% more, 3% more, whatever that they're talking about. On that record, Shreya Dhoundiyal increased the green cover by 20%. We're not talking about yesteryears. If you have done that and still my air quality is 420, I will hold you responsible and accountable. I don't care how many rooms or towers that you actually build. Smog towers cannot be a solution. We need to understand one thing, Shreya. The end of the tunnel, pipe approach cannot be a solution. We have to look at the source. And I would agree with Mr. Khuranna here that unless and until we actually look at public transport, unless and until we actually look at the overall construction and demolition regime of Delhi, unless and until we look at the waste management regime of Delhi NCR. And by the way, it's the Delhi NCR problem and not just Delhi. Indeed, yes, Kejriwal needs to be bashed a little because he's in the center, he's in power here in Delhi. But otherwise, it's a North India problem. It's a regional problem. And how do you solve the regional problem? By talking to each other, not by just giving press conferences. I think it's very important that the Prime Minister of this country, the Environment Minister of the country, the Health Minister of the country, and respective chief ministers of all these states come together and talk. And, for God's sake, not end of September, लेकिन अभी भी कुछ नहीं बीता है. अभी भी 2 स्पेल बड़े-बड़े एयर पोल्यूशन के आने वाले हैं. मिल तो लो, बात तो कर लो थोड़ा.
खुराना जी, करवाना तो ये आप ही की पार्टी को पड़ेगा.
See, we are always in a constructive mode. Don't worry about that. But the problem
No, where are you in constructive mode? It is the Supreme Court that has to step in and lagao a fatkar, after which the government comes in constructive mode.
Shreya, allow me to complete, please.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Allow me to complete.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
See, problem is with the Delhi is they're always in a denial mode. They always say, we are always doing right. Everybody is fool, but we are always right. I'll give you a small example. Even though I was talking about the public transport, yes, it's a major problem. Who has given the electric buses in Delhi? Central government has given the buses. 300 buses has come. Who has given? Central government. So central government is giving explicit support to Delhi government. At least they want it to mango to say. They don't want. They are saying whatever they are doing is right. Problem is this. We are always there to help each and every government in the country. But the problem in Delhi is of Arvind Kejriwal. I'm right. Everybody is false. Example is stubble burning. Stubble burning till last year was a major problem. But this year, they've already given an indication that Parali is not a problem in Delhi, in North India. Already, the agricultural minister is saying Parali is not a big problem. We will not take any action. Why? See, last year you were shouting. Congress government, BJP government in Haryana, Congress government in Punjab. They were shouting like anything. But this year, because they have a Punjab government right now in power in Aam Aadmi Party. Today, they are saying
Ravi Srivastava,
right.
I'll give you the last word. I have exactly 10 seconds, but it seems that the well-intentioned battle plan that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has come out with, no one believes it is going to work. It has not worked in the past. It is not going to work now.
I think my BJP friend can encash his animosity for Arvind Kejriwal in other forums. He is well-intended person. You have seen he has involved the IIT reports. He has involved the scientist over there. He has the intention. That is more important. And he has never been arrogant. He has thanked the Prime Minister. He has thanked the government, central government.
So it said that the path to hell is paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. And I'm fairly certain the four of us are going to have this debate again in the next 10 days. And then again in the next 20 days. And on the day after Diwali, 100% I'm meeting all of you. Thank you.
Now whole month will be this only.
Thank you. Thank you. But it's good. Debating is good. Thank you. Thank you, Vimlendu. Thank you very much, Mr. Khuranna. Thank you, Ravi ji, and thank you, Jaydar, for joining us this evening. I'm slipping into a quick break on the show. There's more coming up on the other side. Do stay with us.